don't see the bias mentioned. I'll have to find that out myself. Very neat to have this stuff about this very odd machine, and probably somewhat rare. I mean, look at the 1950s man recording onto his Steelman there. I mean, you can imagine seeing that in one of those old 1950s movies. And then the service manual for the Steelman. I'll need to find a way to get these scanned and put them on YouTube so you can all see. I mean, like, this is stuff that deserves to go on the internet. I mean, because I bet it's not on there already. Unless you can get it from one of those manual sites for a price, you know, having to pay and whatnot. Still, it says a 4-inch speaker. That's really nice. At 3 3/4 frequency response only goes up to 6,000 hertz. It goes up to 4,000 hertz at 1 7/8. The amplifier is 0.1 watt. And the thing was originally designed to use none other than mercury batteries. I mean, mercury batteries. I mean, come on. Well, back in the day there was a time when they actually made mercury batteries, but they don't anymore. I think they're 1.3 volts or no, they're 1.4 volts. But this should be to run on AA's. Well, he tested it on AA's, so obviously it will run on AA's. Look at that, all the blown out diagrams of all the parts in the transit tape. That means one could be completely taken apart and put back together with the help of this. Okay, here's the moment of truth. Bias oscillator. Oh yeah, right there. Bias oscillator. And you know the Steelman is AC bias. A little trivia. Did you know that the son of the designer of the Steelman was a guy who did Sports Illustrated magazine? I found that out while looking up the Steelman recorder on Google and finding a Wikipedia article. I don't remember his full name. His last name was like Lutz or something. I'll have to tell more about that whenever I do a presentation video of the Steelman recorder. Very nice. And then also a power supply for it. You got two full waveridge rectifiers, 10.2 volt AC, 9 volt AC. It's pretty neat. Very nice. Not regulated though. Not that sophisticated. But very nice folder here. I still haven't looked at any of the actual machines firsthand, so still waiting for some moments of truth here. This video will have to be in several parts unless I put it on like a 6 account. Oh good, bubble wrap, that's a good sign. Just in case it's the Iowa, it will probably weigh a ton, so I need to be very careful. Oh, okay, that's the National. Here's the National. So far it looks to be in good shape. I'm going to show this. Yeah, this is really nice recorder by National, which is the same as Panasonic and the same as Concord. And all that is, the actual company name is Matsushita in Japan. And this looks like a very good machine, well kept. It has a 2-digit tape counter instead of 3. Only 2 digits. I hope I can get this fully working. He said it needs new caps and probably a new belt. Yeah, I'm sure I will have to go and recapping it. I got a similar Panasonic recorder one time that was having a weak amplifier. Then I replaced some capacitors. The amplifier was a little stronger but still kind of weakish. And then I decided to go in for a full recap, and after that it was amazingly strong. So probably we'll have similar ways of this. This is in very good condition. I'm amazed. It has a nice oval speaker. It has the safety, the microphone in the back. And it goes in a little clipping door. Oh, I don't want to force that closed. Yeah, it's got the microphone, which is the same microphone you'd see on a Concorde F20 safety. You know, it's a typical kind of a microphone with the Matsushitas. And pretty heavy, and that's without batteries. Something screwed on there. RQ158S for all of you wondering. The batteries go in there. Looks like to be clean compartment. That's good. No corrosion. So this was probably, you know, well kept by the original owner of it. Luckily, capstan sleeve is present. Its screw down was loose, so I went ahead and screwed it on good. It's got two heads in there. I'm sure they're combination record playback heads. Stick that on there. Solid state. So the capstan sleeve resting place is there. Now it's got this weird little reverse switch on it. You go to play, and then I guess you just click that down and it reverses it for you. And you got fast forward. These buttons feel really solid, by the way. They do not make things like this anymore. It just feels very solid. You can just tell this thing got quality. 2-digit tape counter moves whenever you turn the reel. That's a good sign. And the counter belt is still good. Let's set it. It's one of those where you rotate it, the little knob. Just like a lot of the older vacuum tube units where like a meter moves freely. That's good. Has a Q button. I guess I guess it raises the motor speed or something. Tone and volume. Neat because it's auto reverse, and that will be neat for a on the go. You get to the end of a tape, you'll be able to just go and then, you know, start reversing and continue recording. So I'm gonna have to put this over somewhere in my limited space area. Hopefully I can get the machine completely restored, because that machine deserves the best of the restorations. It needs to be restored big time. You need to now open up the box. It's Fats Bear's favorite object, the box. And search those more. And I feel more bubble wrap down there, and I'm going to make sure if this is even or if there's anything protruding upward. Okay, nothing protruding upward. This might be the Iowa, so if it is, it's going to probably weigh a ton. Yes, it is monstrously huge, being a 7-inch portable. And again, it might be the Telmar. Oh, I've tried searching and searching the Model 555 on Google and could never find any pictures of it. It drove me crazy. I'll finally be able to see it. Whether I don't know if this is the Telmar, or the other one, but it's in one of these boxes, I know. Okay, well, it's probably not the Iowa because it's not that small, so it's probably the Telmar, because I know it's not the transit tape either. Yeah, this is probably the Martel or Telmar. Yes, the back of it, because I saw a battery cover. I saw it was also a metal case, looked like, so that's a good sign. It's got a leather case to it, too. It looks like it's a real leather case and not vinyl, made to look like leather type case, which is also really nice to have a true leather. It's always nice having a true leather case. Probably blocking it. Forgive the blocking. Yeah, it's got a really nice leather case on this thing. And leather strap, carrying strap. Looks like, you know, it's got nice feet on the bottom of it too. Battery cover is able to be accessed right there. It's a Japanese machine. Classic oh my gosh. Okay. I'm speechless right now. I cannot believe what my eyes are picking up, and the occipital lobe, I don't even know how to say that right, lobe of my brain is processing the visual data and bringing it into the rest of my brain processing, because this thing, believe it or not, has an all metal case. This is the Telmar Model 555 because he told me on a inbox sent message on YouTube, so taking his word for it that this is a Model 555, you know, the same model as the classic, you know, chip 555 timer. It reminded me of a 555 timer whenever he told me that. This is probably professional grade, or at least very much high-end consumer. I was looking up about Telmar stuff and Martel on the internet, and it looked like Martel is known nowadays for making stuff for like police surveillance, like the cameras that go in police cars to see each time someone's pulled over. See if the meter moves freely. This will be the first test. Yeah, it looks, I think the meter moves. I can't quite tell. Speaker internal, external, sound on off. 7.5 IPS or 3 3/4 and 1 7/8 speed switch. It's always nice. Tiny little knob for volume and tone. The interesting thing is, this has DIN connectors. Now, one might expect a European would have the DIN and Japanese wouldn't, but this is a Japanese machine, but uses DIN connectors. So that is very interesting right there. And yeah, sure enough, it is Japanese. Now I got to look at one thing. This input is 9 volt DC. And hopefully nothing has been put in the way of AC 117 volt into that input. Or else that would render the machine absolutely useless. Okay. But he said he was able to get it to play back. Obviously, if he put a 117 volts onto a 9 volt input, it would have just destroyed the circuitry and motor in an instant, and it wouldn't have played at all. Now this, that's interesting. This is really, really neat, because this is all metal. Even that part is metal. Rubber feels in not the best shape, but not in terribly bad shape either. This is an all metal case, and that's just amazing. I don't have many recorders that have a case that's all metal. I have some that have a little bit of metal and then some plastic. Mainly it's just all plastic cases, but this one is really, really, really well made. I hope I can get this restored to perfect working condition. In operating it, the feel the buttons give, it has a feeling of genuine quality. Engages, that's freed. Gauges, that's freed. And the counter moves nicely, so the counter belt's good. We got a big old capstan sleeve. I mean a really, really, really wide capstan sleeve. And got a capstan piece here. Or you snap that off and stick the sleeve on and put the snapper part in here. And then you can take that back off. You got a really thin capstan. Then you have a medium-sized capstan. And then big fat capstan. So maybe that's not a speed switch. That is probably an equalization switch, being that it has two separate capstan sleeves. So that's pretty cool. This, I believe, is a very rare, based on the fact that looking on Google I couldn't find anything on it. Okay, there's the AC cord. I'll test it later. Actually, no, I'll test it now, just to make sure everything is running. Probably going to need to be recapped. I'm amazed by the quality they put into this thing.